Good morning, and very big welcome to my Monday messages. And for those of you who may be tuning in for the first time, my name's Rebecca. I'm a homeopath, I'm a QTT practitioner, I'm a holistic life coach and mentor. And I just pop in here on a Monday to just help you start your week with a little tip or a stimulation to just think about what works for you and what maybe isn't working so well for you, and to hopefully give you some tools, some simple tools to actually enable you to make any changes that will make your life even better than it already is. So today, I was reminded of today's topic by a lovely session I had with a very long-term client who called me over the weekend in quite urgent need of support. And we had literally, I would say in total, about a 10-minute phone call. And her whole state changed literally with the press of fingers. And I was reminded of how lovely that particular technique can be, and how really profoundly effective it can be, and how that can be done. It can be started with a quick phone call, or it can be instigated yourself once you know how to do it. And with a little bit of practice, it can become an invaluable self-regulation tool. So I'll come on to the details of it a bit later, but I wanted to first of all just remind us all of how throughout history, I think from the time we were first on this planet, we have, as a race, we have imbued mostly inanimate objects, but also actually some animals, if you're in a certain belief system, with qualities, properties, emotional intent, values, all those kind of things, beliefs. We've sort of transposed them onto objects and used them as symbols. Religious symbols or patriotic symbols, secret symbols. And when we think about what symbols are, they're really just a way of very quickly getting to feel a certain set of feelings, or a feeling, or to plug into a value of some sort, or a set of values, or a set of beliefs. And it's seldom that the object that we choose to imbue these things with is actually, does actually have those properties inherently within itself. It's really more the power of our beliefs that supports that continuing forward. And I'm not saying that that is good or bad. It's both. It can be really helpful. It's often used when verbal language is not universal, where perhaps there is a need for some kind of symbol to unite people, or to warn people, or to enable people to feel good. So it has different properties, but it can also become we can subconsciously attach these feelings to objects, and they're maybe not so helpful to us. So that's something I wanted to draw your attention to as well this morning. And I'm talking about, well, anything really. Flags. Flags are a good example. They're patriotic symbols of a country or a territory, and they're used to unite people or divide them, depending on your beliefs, and get people to follow and be behind them. Religious relics used for the same reason, imbued with reverence and worship and wonder and mystery and all of those things, but they're just objects. things that we have in our home that maybe belong to people that we loved and who aren't with us anymore. You know, we can, I'm sure we've all got those objects dotted about the house where we can just look at something or touch something or connect with something, and it will take us to a moment in the past, a person, a particular set of circumstances. And that's beautiful when it's supportive and when it's invoking feelings of love and good, positive memories. But when it's actually not, and we're unaware of that, it can do the reverse. It can be actually almost unwittingly pulling our energy down. And that's one of the things that I wanted to encourage you to do this week, is to have a good look around in your everyday life and identify any objects or symbols that you may be associating with certain feelings, certain memories, certain values or beliefs, and just become conscious of whether those things are supporting you in your life right now, or whether they're actually maybe sapping your energy a little bit. So that's one part of what I wanted to communicate today. Even things like crystals, clothing, items of clothing. You know, if you're aware of, okay, I want to feel powerful today. You know, perhaps you've got an interview or something and you want to feel like you really got this, you know, there might be certain items of clothing that make you feel like that. Now, they're just clothing, but our association with that piece of clothing is what's important. And the reason I'm highlighting this, I suppose, is that ultimately the power of the mind is amazing, and we can change our internal state like that by having some kind of teleportation system, if you like, and being able to actually instantly tap in to a state or a collection of feelings or emotions that enables us to feel whatever we want to feel, whether we want to feel love, or whether we want to feel powerful, or whether we want to feel a little bit reflective and sad. We can use objects to do that, and we can use inanimate objects to do that if we want to. And as I said, neither good nor bad, can be both. And they can be very divisive because they mean different things to different people. So just because for you, you know, a rose quartz crystal, let's say, is a symbol of love and heart stuff, and you know, being able to give and receive and all of those lovely heart-based energies, it doesn't mean to say that that's going to mean the same thing for someone else. I'll give you an example, kind of random example, but the white feather, which was adopted by a league of people around the First World War in Europe, and was used as a symbol of cowardliness. And it was actually sent quite deliberately by women, it's another story, by women to young men who were opting not to enlist, not to fight. And it was just sent, and the recipient knew that this was a symbol of you're a coward, and you know, you need to wise up and enlist immediately. And it caused a lot of pain and distress, and with some young men even going so far as to commit suicide. And that was the symbol. Even if you saw the white feather anywhere at that time, that was the meaning behind it. Just a white feather at the end of the day, though. Conversely, the white feather in a lot of other indigenous populations, including the American Indian population, the white feather actually has all kinds of beautiful properties. It means peace and purity and honesty and all kinds of positive, opening evolving properties. It's a beautiful symbol. So two completely different meanings on the same object, depending on where you come from. So it's not the object itself, it's the power of our mind that can create, to give it power, if you like. So, excuse me. So that's what I want you to remember when I say to you that what we did on Saturday with this lovely client is we did something called anchoring. And some of you may be very familiar with that, in which case, don't worry about listening anymore. But what happened was that she phoned me in a state of extreme anxiety and fear around something that was coming up for her and around, excuse me, a lot of responsibilities that she has currently. And she had been in the state for a couple of days and unable to calm herself. And what we did very quickly over the phone is we did an anchoring process whereby she had already spoken to me about a beautiful room in her house that she created with her husband, where as soon as she went into it, she feels really calm, really peaceful. It's flooded with sunlight or light. So she feels completely at ease and able to work really productively and able to feel really regulated and in balance and in harmony, if you like. And so what we did is we built up those feelings within her body and we anchored them in. So I got her to touch her thumb and her finger and really push hard at the height of those feelings for about 5 rounds. It's only 5 minutes. And so every time she then presses her finger and thumb, those feelings come up. So she can access them anytime she wanted to. What was lovely is that her whole state changed completely within the course of the rounds. So, that was an immediate relief for her, which was the most important thing at that time. And also, she now has a tool that she can use with a little bit of practice so that if she ever finds herself in that sort of situation again, where she needs to access those feelings, she needs to plug in to all the feelings that she wants to feel and that are more supportive to her. She can do that literally by pressing those fingers together again. So, really lovely result. She was over the moon, and I could hear in her voice and in her breathing, and her whole tone and pitch completely changed. So she went away a very happy bunny, which is fantastic to witness. So I wanted to share that with you today, and for you to know that you can do that too with practice, and you can change your internal state no matter what the external circumstances are. You can do that in literally an instant if you want to. So I suppose my message today is threefold. So the first part is really to have a good look round your own home and your everyday life and really have a look at any kind of objects or symbols that you may be using, even subconsciously, to support you, to enable you to feel whatever you want to feel at any time. And conversely, if there's anything that when you look at it, it maybe doesn't bring up great feelings. It maybe links you back to a time where you weren't feeling so great about life or somebody or yourself. And know that if you want to, you can obviously remove those objects if you want to, or if you want to hang on to them, you can change how you can change what feelings you're attaching to those objects with a little bit of practice. So that's the first part. The second part is to ask yourself, are there any circumstances in my life where it'd be really handy to be able to self-regulate in that way, to be able to notice that you're going into a state of overwhelm or a state of anxiety, a state of freeze, or not being able to function in the way that you need to function, and to be able to instantly access a more supportive, empowering feeling if you need to. So just to notice whether you have anything like that in your life, any need for that, a technique like that. And thirdly, to know that actually you can do that. You can, with a little bit of practice, and it doesn't take long, you can set up all kinds of different anchors in your own body. So it doesn't even have to be an external object if you don't want it to be, but if you prefer, it can be an object. I prefer my own body because then I don't have to remember to bring that object with me everywhere I go. But they do have value. Children find little stones, little crystals that they can have in their pockets. If that becomes the lucky stone, or the lucky, the comfort stone, or whatever you want to call it, whatever is needed, then a quick touch of that in the pocket can be really, really valuable to children at school, I find, and any situation. So it can be an object if you prefer, but much easier to have some part of your body that you can just quickly access, and you will flood your system with whatever feelings you want to feel. So that's it, really. So I'm leaving you with that thought. Any comments you have, if you want to know more about it, then do click on the link with this video. You can book a free call with me if you want to have a chat about it, or if you want to know more about more QTT techniques and other self-regulation tools that I work with, then do have a good look around my website by clicking on the same link. Have a beautiful week and have a think about those symbols and those objects. Take care. Bye.